Hello, welcome to Moogle Speak. Today we're going to talk about the latest producer's letter for the month of May. I don't think there's been another producer's letter. In fact, we've been waiting a long time for this one, and for the anticipated third players poll results. There's been a second one, which I don't think I was playing at the time, so I never did record a video on that. Actually, it's been a very long time since I have recorded a video for the producer's letter. So because of that, before I get into it and talk about my reaction to some of the announcements from Yoshida, the producer, I wanted to go over some of the major milestones. It's going to be, I guess, another milestone video. I'm going to say video review, not quite, but just of what's been happening in the game since I've left it back in December, January. So the game has kept up with their events, with their seasonal events like Valentine's Day, which is a Valentione's Day, I think is how you say that, and you know, Easter and all that, which is of course all called something else in the game. They have lore specific to it, so they've all been keeping up with that, and you get unique items as rewards to participate in the event, so that's always good. New Grand Company quests have been updated, so there's more and more quests. You know, as you go along, you can go higher now. There's new titles. If you vouch for a grand company now, if you're, let's say, I'm in Gridania, so I'm a serpent, you can become a private, or you started off as private, and then you can become, I think, sergeant, and then, you know, so on and so forth. So you get higher titles. We have a whole slew of achievements now. So you have achievements for battle, for exploring, for crafting, for how much money you have, how much guild, you know, all kinds of different things. Before you get to the achievement though, before they unlock, you can even, it's possible that you've unlocked a lot of them already, but they won't appear in your achievement log until you talk to a certain NPC, which I find kind of annoying. I wish it would just be automatically in there. But no, you have to unlock it by talking to an NPC, which is totally a Square Enix thing, and it's an extra stupid step that they make you do for it, but whatever. I guess it makes you more connected to the world, maybe, but I don't see any point to it, since achievements to me is already something that's out of the game, but for most games anyway. But anyway, whatever. Oh, there's been world merges and world transfers, which we talked about in the last video, so I'm not going to touch on that. You know, there's been a lot of, not a lot, but there has been new higher level gear, class specific or job specific. The job system is something that I've never really gone a whole lot into. It's really not something that I'm a big fan of at this time. I always like the classes. I always like the idea of the classes that we have. So to me, to have jobs on top of that is just kind of redundant, but a lot of people play them. I think most people play them. So now jobs, you know, you could be a black mage, a white mage, a bard, so I forgot the other ones because I don't have no interest in them, but paladin, and you know, all those other jobs that they had in Final Fantasy XI. You can also play, but I guess you don't level them. You unlock them at level 30, and they sort of are tied with your job and sub-job that you have. So in order to unlock, or to have White Mage, for example, you need a Conjurer at level 30, and I think it's is it a Lancer at level 15? Or it's another job at level 15, but I think it is definitely a battle job, which I was never a really big fan of. I thought, you know, it should be Thaumaturge and Conjurer together to unlock White Mage, and Black Mage, vice versa, but no, it's not. So I guess it's to promote people trying out different classes, but I don't know. I'm not really sold on the job thing yet until they come out with cooler jobs, I guess. You know, maybe I'll be a bard, but then I have to level archer for that, and that's the main class for bard, and I don't really want to play an archer ever. So I don't know. It's really weird. And what else? Talk too much about that. Um, oh, so we've got part of the Grand Company quests. We have primals to defeat. So, you know, what we know traditionally in Final Fantasy games as summons. So we've got Ifrit so far that we can fight, and Garuda. And there's a whole bunch of lore to go through as to why they've come. But in the grand scheme of Eorzea, the primals are the spirits that the beast tribes have been summoning to. I'm not really clear on the storyline, whether it's to wage war, maybe to protect themselves, or probably a mix of that. And I'm thinking protection. And but the thing with the primals is when they come into our world, they eat up the Aether. So all the Aetherite crystals and all these other crystals, they're going to break and faint and all of that. If and life itself is going to be in danger if the primals are left unchecked. So that's the story behind the primals, which I think I found out recently through playing more of the storyline. Now the thing with the storyline is, if you're playing right now and if you haven't finished it, get on that, because all those Grand Company quests that are in there right now that are creating content, they're actually all going away in 2.0, which I'll be talking about very shortly here. So it's, if you want to go through all that story, you really should get on that now. What else do we have? So that's basically it. There's been, you know, not so many, there hasn't been a lot of massive changes, except a lot of tweaks, a lot of very drastic tweaks. And I think they're not going to put a whole lot of effort into to what we have now, because they're just going to wipe it clean with 2.0 anyway. So I think a lot of the major changes and tweaks have already happened, and now it's just kind of refining and tying up loose ends and make sure that everything's, you know, coming up to a head and getting ready for 2.0. So also there was the Welcome Back campaign back in April. So for, was it a month? No, was it about a week or so? People who had the game already, who'd been subbed before, or who had played for free, whatever, who bought the game at launch, could come back and play again. And those servers would be open to them. Now, the problem with the Welcome Back campaign is there are a lot of people who wanted to roll new characters on servers with their friends, and they couldn't because a lot of the servers were closed. Like my server, Gungnir, was closed. It is still closed, in fact. And that's because of Ul'dah. Ul'dah is the main city that everybody gathers in, and it's Ul'dah is in two parts, part A or part B or something like that, and everybody's in one spot and they don't go to the other ones. In fact, I was just in Ul'dah yesterday, and I was in part B, or the upper part, and no one was there. And it, you know, they could move some of the things there. They could move the market wards there or something, so to force people to kind of, you know, go somewhere else, because what's that creating is it's congesting that area, and if too many people are right there, concentrated there, it makes the server unstable, makes it want to crash and all of that. So that's why they're not allowing new characters in the whole freaking server just because of one city, which is really dumb. But so anyways, I'm hoping that in 2.0, of course, they have to fix that, where they need to bring in a new city that's the central city, like Juno in Final Fantasy XI, where everybody was there, and later it was Whitegate became the new central city, and so forth. So so I'm looking forward to that a lot, but that's what's going on with the servers and why new people can't roll characters on there. So it really sucks, but until, you know, they figured that out. Personally, I don't think they should have done the server merges until they'd solved that problem, but they didn't. And they merged the servers, and they're like, oh, well, there's too many people and all that. Well, you knew that already. They knew that already. So anyway, crazy stuff. Square Enix is hiring. Their hiring English localization team is seeking qualified men and women to join their ranks. All interested are invited to check out this recent forum posts. So and the thing is, you have to have excellent handle on Japanese and English languages, both. So before you can even think of applying, and I think you need to be able to travel to Japan even. So there's that. And there was the Hidden Artifacts event, I think it was last week, which I thought was, I was excited at first, and then found out that basically what it was, it's you had to guess what it was, like a puzzle image with like different squares, and you did take away the square and you have to guess what it is, and then no, you answer questions correctly and then they take away a square, as each answer is correctly answered. As this question is correctly answered. My God, here's my cat totally interrupting me. Go. And anyway, and that was kind of fun. It was a community event, happening in the forums and all that. Just something fun for us to do. However, some of the very first image for the North American side was something that we had in a collector's edition handbook, which was kind of disappointing. So for me, after that, the event was just kind of like whatever. So, but we got wallpapers out of it, which I find them actually quite kind of underwhelming. But they're busy with other stuff. It was nice of them to do something for the community, though, so that was cool. Legacy, I talked about that last video, so I'm not gonna talk about it again. All right, the good stuff. Letter from the producer, letter 28. First of all, we get a nice wallpaper from the chocobo mount that we get for Legacy members. It's in wallpaper form now, so you can have it on your desktop before having it in game. Yay! It's actually quite nice. I like it. Again, kind of simple, but whatever. Okay, so let's see what's going on. So there's results from the latest players poll number 3, which I did not participate in because I wasn't playing. So, question 1: which disciplines do you employ most frequently? The answer with the mostest was I play all the classes. So basically, most people play battle classes, but they will craft as well. So, Yoshida just said that all the classes and all the all the classes will be looked at for professions, whatever. How often do you play Final Fantasy 14? Most people actually say every day. So, that was pretty good. I don't think Yoshida expected that answer to be so high, but it was. So at least for the people that are playing now, they play lots. Q3, Q4, do you think the pace of leveling up disciplines of war and magic class is appropriate? Now, for a lot of vocal people are going to disagree with this, but most people voted that it's just about right. And I know that the vocal people, especially on the forums, are going to be like, it's way too fast. I think it is a little fast in the upper tier. I think, 40, 50s should really take, or 40, 50 should take longer than it is right now. It's like a bullet right now. You just go through it so fast. And, the first level should always go really fast. And right now, everything kind of grows at the same time. And it's, I think anyway, I don't even know. I think the early levels might even feel longer, but yeah, that needs to be adjusted a little bit, but I wouldn't adjust it too much. It is, we are in a modern MMO. I don't want to be grinding forever again. I had 11 for that. So okay, question 5: what do you like most about the current version of Final Fantasy 14? And multiple answers allowed. The promise of 2.0 was the most popular answer. So I kind of facepalmed a little bit there, but what came after that was the quality of characters. Very true. And the world, the lore. That definitely, and then the last story, and then after that was everything else. But, yeah, I find that the characters are really what makes me want to stick to the game. They're very well developed, they're very well animated, they look awesome. They're really, my character in Final Fantasy 14 I'm more attached to that character than any other ones because I'm very visual, and to me, all the characters there are really, really not just appealing, but they're just feel a bit more real than in most other games. So I agree with that. Question 6. What would you like to see added to the game? Up to 2 answers allowed. Additions to the main scenario. So a lot more story is what people want. And then battle content. Primal fights, instant raids, more stuff to do, basically. More stuff to fight. Improvements to the user interface was the third thing. Yeah, people are always complaining about the UI. So, no, those are the things that are going to be addressed for sure. But definitely additions to the main scenarios was the most voted on, and I agree with that for sure. But the thing is, with 2.0, we're getting a whole new story. So it's going to be interesting to see what their new approach is with that. Hopefully it's a lot more organic, more free-flowing, and just not, I don't know. It feels kind of weird right now. And that's it. Oh, the other big bombshell that he dropped, well, the one big bombshell that he dropped was that there will be no, and I repeat, there will be no trailer at E3 this year. They said that we might have a trailer for Final Fantasy 14 at E3, to get, everybody excited, to show people what's been happening, what's going on with the new version. And now they said that we're not going to have one. So there's a lot of blogs out there, a lot of gaming news sites that are like, oh my god, what's going on, Square Enix? What are you doing? And I kind of have to agree with that. E3 is a great time to create buzz, especially if you're going to have 2.0 out in a few months. And the reason said is because they didn't want to create a trickle of info, but a flood. So they want everything to come out at the same time. But I honestly think it's a bit of a mistake not to do something for E3, because there's a lot of people post E3 that are just not going to care. Or there's Guild Wars 2's coming out soon. People are going to look forward to that. The Secret World is going to be out as well. I don't feel the Secret World's really going to be a big threat there, but Guild Wars 2 definitely. So, you kind of have to start creating a buzz there, and I know that maybe they don't want to create too much of a hype, but with Final Fantasy, they don't have to say too much. So I'm hoping there's still going to be something 14 at E3, but it's not looking really good so far, so I guess we'll see. I think it's a missed opportunity, personally, but, let me know what you think. And that's pretty much it for this week's episode. I know it's a long one, but it's long overdue. There's a lot of stuff to cover, and yeah, this letter from the producer had some nice goodies, but it was kind of underwhelming in the sense that it didn't have all the results from the latest poll, and yeah, no E3 trailer, boo. So looking forward to the next letter from the producer, which actually should be pretty soon, because Yoshida said that he's already written it. So it just has to be published on the website whenever it's, they're ready to do that. So, but still a little disappointing. And we will catch you next time on the next update. See you later.